Hi, welcome back to Tea and Forget-Me-Nots. I'm Rachel and today I'm going to be showing you how to make a candy cane wreath for a front door. Now, if you're a fan of candy canes like I am, then you're probably going to love this wreath. However, if you suspect that your delivery drivers might be a bit too enthusiastic about candy canes themselves, then I suggest swapping these out for fake ones. Also, I have a porch, so this is going to work fine for me, but if you don't have a porch and this wreath will go on your front door outside, then I would also cover them up. Okay, so let's have a look at how to make a beautiful candy cane wreath for your front door. With this wreath base, I'm going to create a candy cane wreath. I've repurposed this wreath base from a berry autumnal wreath. I love being able to reuse things as it makes things so much more efficient and affordable. First things first, I am going to use some gold foil called Dixie Shine on this Ho 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 lettering that I got for free in a craft magazine. I'm doing this first because you need to apply the glue, which is called Stick With Me, for about 15 minutes until it gets tacky. So I'll start with that and then I can be making progress on the other bits of the wreath in the meantime. You want to do just a thin coat as if you are applying something like Mod Podge. Leave it to the side, wait for it to get just tacky to the touch, and then come back to it in a short while. While the Ho 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 lettering is drying, I am going to get started on wrapping a red festive coloured ribbon around this wreath base. Layers always help with wreaths as they make it look so much more impactful. This is a simple ribbon, in fact it's not even large enough to go around the whole wreath. As this is a ribbon that I already have, I'm going to reuse it and make sure that it finishes about evenly on both sides so that it looks like it's meant to be like that. All I'm doing is simply adding a dot of hot glue to every other wrap of the ribbon and securing it in place. It doesn't need much glue to stay there. And the nice thing about it not needing much glue to stay there is that equally it won't take much effort to remove it, so I can repurpose this wreath again. The second set of ribbon or string, depending on what it looks like to you, is this very much a candy cane style ribbon of red and white wrapped together. I'm doing this on the inside of the wreath to give it a bit more of a cozy vibe with the thicker ribbon, and also having the first nod to the candy cane colour scheme. I had enough to wrap all the way around the circle. In fact, I could have gone around the outside of the circle as well, which would have made the wreath form bigger. I tested that idea before gluing it down and thought it looked a little bit more subtle and nicer with just the one ring inside. With that ribbon all tied in place, there had been enough time to go back to my Ho 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 lettering for the gold foil. This is really simple to apply. I wasn't going for a perfect transfer. I wanted an imperfect and a slightly more shimmery look. So I used just my fingers to transfer this. However, if you want a much more complete transfer, so it's fully covered in gold, then you are best off using something like a burnishing pad, which is like a rough sponge, and that just covers it more completely and you'll get a more full and perfect result. You can also have the Dixie Shine in silver or copper colours for a different look. Simply cut out the pieces of foil for the size that you need and apply it with the gold side up. The first time I did this, and in fact I still have to think about it, that it's not gold side facing the glue, it is gold side up, and it's the back that transfers onto the actual surface. And when you take it off, you'll see how much it has transferred at all. And if you would like more of it to transfer, you can simply place back down the gold foil where there is gold visible left on it, and you'll be able to transfer a bit more onto it again. Anywhere where you have any Dixie Shine of the gold foil left, you can simply save and use it at another time. It sometimes leaves a slight stickiness to the coating. If you want to get rid of that, just do a clear coat on top, and that will remove any of the stickiness. I love the imperfect nature of how this transfers, and when the light catches it, it looks much more interesting. There are a couple of spots I went back and did a second layer, just because there was mostly white in that area, and I wanted all of it to have a little bit of gold. But isn't that really pretty? For the next step, I attached these little LED fairy lights. The most important thing about attaching lights is knowing where your battery pack will go, because you want it to be hidden as much as possible. I will be attaching a little bowl or cup to this piece at the end, so that is the place where I'm going to put my battery pack to try and keep it as disguised as much as possible. So with that in mind, that is where I started, keeping the battery pack in the right place and then wrapping the lights around. I'll be honest, this was an exercise in patience, because the lights either got stuck to themselves or got stuck to the wreath, and this took far longer than I was hoping it would, but we got there in the end. Simply keep going until it's all wrapped around and as evenly spaced as you want it to be, or if there's an area where you don't want lights, bear that in mind as well. Towards the end, I turned the lights on, because it's much easier to see where the bulbs are and what will actually be visible if you can shift them around when they're lit. So the final step is this little bowl that I actually got as a repurposed snow globe. It's plastic and had a bottle brush tree in it when I bought it, but I thought that the bowl had the potential to be a cute little candy cane holder for this wreath. First, I had to figure out how to attach it. As with most things when you're creating a wreath, wire is your friend because it's easily removable and you can make it very secure. First of all, I glued the wire both around the cup and then secured it behind the wreath and the battery pack, and then I hid that wire with the candy cane ribbon. I also used some hot glue to keep the cup in place. And because it is going to be quite heavy with those candy canes sitting in there, it was important to keep this as secure as possible. In fact, after I'd attached it, I decided I was going to do the same Dixie Shine gold foil on the cup as well as the Ho 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 lettering to make it just that bit more festive. I temporarily attached the Ho 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 to make sure that I was happy with it, but didn't attach that until I put it on the door, because the weight of the wreath was not evenly distributed, because of course the candy canes made it heavier on that right hand side. So after I'd attached it to the door, that's when I slotted the Ho 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 in, when I knew how balanced the wreath would be, so that the Ho 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 would look straight. I had to remove my beautiful dragonfly door knocker to show off the wreath the best that I could. I swapped it for a command hook. Another option would be to use some clear wire or fishing wire over the top of the door to hang it in place. But because this wreath wasn't evenly balanced, the command hook gave me much more flexibility to position it in a balanced way. Fortunately, the command hook just slots into the vines of the wreath, and then just with a little bit of adjustment, it worked perfectly. Now, I happen to have a porch, so the cup with the candy canes will not be filling with any rainwater anytime soon. However, if you wanted to do this on an outside door, then that is something to consider. I hope you enjoyed following along with making this candy cane wreath. I love the gold and red and white combination. The foil is a lot of fun to play with, really simple, and creates a really interesting look, and it will never be the same twice, which makes it a lot more fun. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed how I made this wreath. I would love to know if you make something similar too, especially if you're a fan of candy canes like I am. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye! If you'd like to know any more information about the Dixie Shine gold foil, I will leave that linked below for you to find out about it, or there'll be more information in the blog post as well.